Hello folks, this is Conroy Talks, how we doing? Just wanted to do a quick impromptu video at my lunch break here, just to go over Scotland and the big opening game coming up against Czech Republic. Thought I'd do a quick video just to discuss my prediction of the lineup we'll play and kind of recent friendly games. I've changed my opinion a few times due to them. Really, I think the game against Holland, I was quite impressed to be honest by Scotland, quite really surprised by that, the way they came out, and I was actually really impressed with Jack Hendry. To be honest, I was a bit unsure when he played a few games, had a good season in Belgium. And to be honest, he's been playing very well. He's been playing very good, and to be honest, scored a great goal against Netherlands, and thought he was going to win the highlights. And then secondly, on that, we'll talk about Billy Gilmore, his performance against Luxembourg. Let's be honest, he's not played a lot of games, not started a lot of games, but I've got to be honest, he's been so good. Came on for 30 minutes against Luxembourg, and that's his first game when he had proper training. He came on against Holland for 20 minutes, I think 15 minutes. But as I say, not trained with the first team, so that's the first game he's played. And to be honest, the guy is special. I'll shout out to Luke for the comments. How you doing, mate? Luke Ramish, how you doing, bud? Turnbull, that's a good question. He came on against Holland. You know what? He was very, very good. Oh, can you hear me? I put it up. Let me know if you can hear me in the comments now, guys. You hear me now? About Turnbull starting for Scotland. Turnbull, he came on against Holland and he was very, very good. He was very good actually. He nearly scored just to the side of the goal, just missed the top of the bar. Very good performance. I don't think he'll start, Luke. I think, to be honest, with Steve Clarke and the way he plays, I think it's going to be a 3-5-2, and I think Turnbull will maybe come on as an impact player. He has been very good, and I've been very impressed by him. And the second question is by Mitchell. I would say I think Gilmore will start. I think he'll play. I think Callum McGregor has not played great the last couple of games. In fairness, he's been pretty strong for Scotland over the past 4 or 5 years. But to be perfectly honest, that's half an hour against Luxembourg. I know it's Luxembourg, and they were better than I thought they'd be. To be fair, Luxembourg were quite good, but Gilmore, the guy he's just intelligent. Like he doesn't play like a Scottish player. Like his football brain is outstanding. And I've been really impressed. He actually has been driving. Scored against Luxembourg. He's beaten men as well. It's not just playing it safe. For me, with McGregor being a bit out of form, and then McTominay will probably push in the middle, I think Gilmore has to start, especially for what he's good at and keeping the ball in tight areas. I think that will suit us to a T, and especially in international football. You have to be good at that. So, yeah, no, Mitchell, I think Billy will start, and I think he should. To be fair, I've been impressed by him. I've changed my opinion on it a few times. Big up, Top, how you doing, mate? So back to what I was saying about my predicted lineup. I think it will be David Marshall on goals, guaranteed. Performance against his save got us here, to be honest. So, and he's been playing pretty well. He's pretty solid. He's always going to start, and I think it'll be a 3-5-2 formation. I think the three centre halves will be Kieran Tierney at left-sided centre half, guaranteed to start. The middle, I've been debating this one. I think it will be Grant Hanley. He's had a very good season with Norwich, and he has been strong. He's really got himself back in the Scotland team, because I kind of thought he was done with his international career, but it's had a solid season. I think he'll definitely get back in. He'll be the centre half, the middle centre half. Kieran Tierney on the left, and I think the right, I think it'll be Jack Hendry. The only maybe argument for Grant Hanley would be Liam Cooper to play there. He was very good against Holland. I've got a feeling Hanley will start though. Either way, I'm happy with both. I think it'll be Hanley. And then the right wing back. There's been a lot of chat about Nathan Patterson. He was very good when he came on against Luxembourg, and it's kind of credit to the performance school, Scotland's performance school, because that's Billy Gilmore and Nathan Patterson. I think Turnbull as well, or Hendry, I get mixed up, but that's 3 of them are from the performance school. But I've got to be honest, I think O'Donnell's done very well for Scotland. He's played better for Scotland than his club at times. I think O'Donnell will start at right wing back. You know what you're getting from him. You're going to get a 6 or 7 out of 10. He'll be solid, he'll be steady. O'Donnell for me at right wing back. And the 3 in midfield then, left wing back will be Andy Robertson, obviously. And then the 3 in midfield, I think it'll be McGinn, and I think it'll be McTominay. Robertson or Greg Taylor. Look, I don't know. Listen, Rob, listen. I'm a Liverpool fan. You know that. But to be fair, Robbo's actually played very well. Holland, he got assist, done a 60-yard run, got assist, and against Luxembourg at the cross that Dykes headed onto the post. So he's actually been in good form as well. So Andy Robbo at left wing back, and then the three in midfield, I think will be, because Jack Hendry's played well at right centre half, we can play it from the back because of that. I think that means you don't have to have McTominay in there, who has done well at right centre half, don't get me wrong. I think he'll move into midfield, and he's a very good season for Man United. So I think he'll start. And then, for me personally, there will be debate in this, and honestly, Cal McGregor has been very good, but I think Gilmour has to start. I think for him, can sit, dictate play. I think he has to start. And then the other midfielder who'll be bombing up will be John McGinn, who's been outstanding again for Aston Villa. And you have to let him bomb up and down because McGinn's such a threat. I mean, you saw his overhead kick against Austria. The guy is just like, if you watch previous interviews, I don't know if you watch Open Goal and stuff, and a lot of players who played with John McGinn will say he was never anything like specials pro, but you never thought he would get to the level he's got to. But he's so effective, and he's at the top of his game right now. And you could tell we're going to England and playing with the calibre of players he's playing with, the Grealish, he's even some of the Aston Villa signing. Just playing in the Premier League, you can tell he makes his game plan. He knows what he's good at, and he's brilliant for Scotland. And he's actually very important. He's Scotland's talisman. I think he scored around 10 and 13 games. He scored a lot of goals for Scotland, so he'll be the one pushing in the box a lot to join the front two. Now for Czech Republic, I think it's got to be Che Adams. Che Adams has to start. At the end of the day, Lyndon Dykes has been superb for Scotland, but Che Adams for me is just a different level. But you can just tell he's a level up as a striker from the performances he's played with Scotland. He'll have to start. And the other spot, I think Lyndon Dykes, it could be Lyndon Dykes, but I think he'll play Christie. I think it'll be Christie with Adams up top and Christie in behind. Could be wrong, wouldn't be either way. I just think he might look to do Adams and Dykes maybe against Croatia or England. I think it'll be Christie in this game. As I say, wouldn't feel bad either way about it, but for me I think it'll be Christie, and then I think it'll be Adams up top. Because if we get a chance, and I think we will against the Czechs, Adams will take it. He's not the most prolific, but he is a level up from what we've got, and I think he'll be very important for the Euros. So that's my team, folks. My predicted scoreline for the game, I might do that later. I don't want to jinx anything, but I do feel that Scotland have played pretty good recently, and I think we should be confident going into this game. Yes, the Czechs are good. We played them previously, played against, to be honest, I think they had 10 players or 11 players out because of COVID at the time. So that's not got much to go on. However, they're always a good technical team. They might not have massive names, but they are technically good. You've got Souček as well from West Ham and Kufal, both very good players. But I do think overall, we need to be confident in ourselves. We have got the players, we've got the depth, probably best depth and quality we've had in a long time. There's always been good players in Scotland, but I really feel like we can kick on from this. Oh, Doug's in the channel. How you doing, Doug? Thanks for joining in, mate. And thanks to everybody. Cheers for the comments. I really appreciate that. But I feel like we have got the quality there. And in the last couple of months, with the resurgence of Nathan Patterson, Billy Gilmour, I would actually add in as well, he's not in the squad, but even a shout out to Ryan Gauld. Ryan Gauld had an outstanding season for Benfica. I didn't want to touch on that too much in this video, but I would say that's the only one I was annoyed with the selection, because the guy played in the Portuguese top league, got nine goals, 7 assists and 9 man of the matches in the league. Unbelievable form. Really should be in the lineup. We talk about David Turnbull, who I think's been outstanding. Talk about Gilmour, yes, probably a different level Gilmour, but the guy really has been outstanding. Gold, and I wouldn't be right if I didn't mention him, because he really should be in that lineup, that squad. Sorry, not starting, and I get he probably won't start, but he gives us something different. We've not got a lot of number 10s. Look, Connor, I've got a feeling Czech Republic may be underdogs. Mate, see, the thing is, being a Scotland fan, but I don't know what it is, but we always play these nations, and you realise that most nations out of the UK are good technical teams. They might not have big name players, but to me, there's a lot of them are good. They're good technicians of the ball, and they play systems well. I feel like the most important thing for us, is to not, if it's not happening straight away, right, not panic. Because I do think there has to be a patience. It's a first tournament for a long time, and it'd be very easy for us to just, if it's not going well the first 30 minutes, panic. We need to be confident in our ability. and going into this game. And that's why I do think Gilmore's important. I think Gilmore, for me, he's just been so impressive in the small spells he's had. I just think he helps dictate the game. I think he helps calm the game down, and I think we need that for the Czech game. So that's what I think it'll go. Predicted scoreline, I don't know, I might do that next week when it's getting closer to it, after the Euro start, and I watch a few other games. But that's my predicted lineup. If you guys disagree or agree in the comments, or any other suggestions, or any other comments we would want to say, other videos coming up. I've had a bit of a busy time recently in my life, but I'm also looking to kind of let some crack on with the channel and get as many videos as you want. So any suggestions or that, feel free, just put them in the chat. And as you say, I'm absolutely buzzing with all the comments as well. I really appreciate it, guys. And yeah, so that's my predicted Scotland lineup for the game against Czech Republic. And the Ryan's in the chat as well. How you doing, Ryan? Thanks for listening, bud. But as I say, yeah, and if any comments, think about other ways we could go in. One shout out, the last thing I wanted to mention as well, there's been a lot dismissed to Stuart Armstrong. Stuart Armstrong's had an outstanding season for Southampton, could argue one of his best seasons in the Premier League. He scored 4 goals and 5 assists this season. When I've watched him, very good ball carrier, I wouldn't be crying if Stuart Armstrong started in midfield. I feel like we forget he's a very talented player as well. Always got a good strike on him, good with the ball, good technically. So shout out to him as well. I feel like he could be important as well, even as an impact player. I maybe just do a 1 minute on impact players for Scotland. We talk about the depth of Scotland, and yes, maybe a lot of England fans, I'm friends with a lot of them as well, and they are quite realistic, but some are maybe say England will walk all over us. If England turn up, let's not be stupid. They've got some amount of quality in their team. There's maybe a few weaknesses here and there, but I think they're starting 11. If they play it right, they've got very quality, and they could. But we've got good at playing against good teams, and we've got a manager who has done well to play in a system to disrupt good teams, but not just sitting for 5 minutes. We actually can play with the ball. We've got players who can hurt teams. Talk about Stuart Armstrong, talk about Billy Gilmore, Che Adams added to that. Shout out to Lyndon Dykes as well. I think a lot of people think he's just a big lump up front. That's not the case. The guy's technically very good. He takes the ball down well, and he links the play. And before Che Adams came in, he'd done a really, really good job for us. Really, really good job. We owe a lot to Lyndon Dykes. Look, you're asking thoughts on Che Adams. Yeah, mate, I've got to be honest. See, when you watch him for Southampton, you think he's a good player. I know it was last season, he didn't score for a long time with a kind of drought spell. But see, when I watch him play with Scotland, you can just tell the difference, just his movement, his touch as well. He takes it to the next level, and I'm really, really impressed by him. He's not the most prolific. I'm not saying he's an absolute killer in the box, but he's just little things he does, his movement. You can just tell we've got a good team, but he's just a different level up front. So yeah, really, really. He's been very good, mate. He's been a very good acquisition for Scotland. I know some Scotland fans will like, oh, he's English, no take him in. It's international football, right? You need to try and get the best team you can field out there. Same with Lyndon Dykes, Australian, born in Australia, but representing Scotland. The guy's been brilliant for us. I don't think that. I feel like you have to field the best team you can. And when I watched Adams, I feel like he's fully wants to be there, and when I've watched his performance, I've been very impressed. Really like him. Jersey boy, how you doing in the chat as well, mate? And it's Ryan saying happy birthday, but it's not Jersey's birthday apparently. So not happy birthday to you, mate. But yeah, that's how I think it would go. I think Scotland have got some good acquisitions in there who can hurt teams off the bench as well. As you mentioned, Armstrong. A few injuries that have kind of disrupted the flow, but I feel like we'll do well. Fergus, how you doing, mate? Thanks for joining. Will Scotland sit back? I think what will happen, mate, is I feel like Scotland, we're not just going to sit back in my previous tournaments and just, try and catch on the break now and again. I feel like we'll approach every game different, but I do feel like with Clark, as you sit back, you maybe have a good system, but you do play. Like, we can play good football. We've got players who are good on the ball. We've got probably, I would argue, two of the best left backs in world football. And I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, and I know a lot of people are saying it now, and I'm not copying them, but when you look at like Sheffield United last year, when they played like the centre-backs under and overlapping, Tierney's been doing that for about the past 4 months when he's playing for Scotland, because Robbo can go up higher sometimes and it allows Tierney to kind of run onto the ball. And I mean, if you watch Faroe Islands, yes, they're not the biggest opposition, but Tierney's been having probably about 4 or 5 outstanding games with that formation, because it allows him to come onto the ball, and really he's the best out of the two at beating a man. So I feel like Scotland, it might look on paper, but we're used to playing the five at the back. I feel like it allows us to be defensively strong. And yes, Fergus, time sit back, but there's also, it allows us, we've played it that long, we're used to it now. I feel like we can hurt teams, attack, and there will be spells where we can control the game. It's not just going to be backs to the wall the full game. I don't think it will be, mate. Conroy, we need to hear a John McGinn chant before you go. Not another time, mate. Fergus saying no Ireland at the tournament, so I have to back the Scottish in half my bloodline. Well, mate, we'll take all the support we can get. As I say, I've said for a while we're happy we're there, but I need to break down each game, and I think if we approach it right, which I think we will, we'll give ourselves the best opportunity. However, we have got players who can hurt teams, not just one or two. There's a lot of players. Look what you're saying, it'd be a talking point. Who do you think's done a better job in the nation, Southgate or Clark? When you look at the quality of two teams, Clark definitely was a shout in my opinion. Well, cheers for that, Luke. Much appreciated, mate. See, the thing is, right, you need to give a shout out to Alex McLeish. And to be fair, Alex McLeish, when he actually took over, lost to Kazakhstan 3-0, didn't do great, but we did get that 3-2 win against Israel, which got us the opportunity to get in the playoffs games, which will beat Israel in penalties and beat Serbia in penalties, which, yes, Clark deserves a lot of credit as well. Just for a shout out to Alex McLeish. Clark has done a good job. Look, see, the thing is what people will forget as well. See, at the start, it was feeling a bit like, is Clark going to work? Because a few games we weren't playing well. Yes, we've got a few results. I think with Cyprus we won 2-1, we won in the last minute. But again, we tried to free at the back. It wasn't necessarily clicking. You've got Robbo playing left wing back, and then people are like, well, where are you going to put Tierney? I actually think the free is probably the best way, because Tierney, I would disagree. I think Robbo's a brilliant defender at left back, but Tierney's the more adaptable as a centre back. And I feel like you can. Clark has always been good, even at West Brom in the Premier League. I think he got sacked, but unfortunately then as well, and at Kilmarnock. He has done a very good job. I'm not a Southgate hater though, but yes, you can maybe say he's done a better job in the nation. I think this tournament you'll see how good, and a lot of people are ready to write off Gareth Southgate, but I will be one who will be like, yes, he's not a top manager, he's not a really good manager, but he's got a platform now to see what he can do, and we'll see if his management's worked. I do think, yeah, Clark, probably on paper, mate, a lot of people could do what England could do with that job. They're always going to qualify. Maybe not every manager could have got to a semi-final, and you can argue, yes, the route was very fortunate the way it worked out, but there's been a lot of managers of England top managers who fell at that hurdle. So Southgate deserves credit for that, even though, the way it worked out was quite fortunate. I do think probably, on the scale of things, beating a Serbia team that's got a Jovic, forgot his name, from Lazio, the centre defensive mid. That is a good shout, mate, because getting us hungry and tactically to win that game, and obviously win the Israel game previous to that, and then win the Nation League game qualifiers to build up momentum up to the Euros. Yeah, mate, I would probably say Clark has done a better job overall. Look, but I'm not a Southgate hater, though. That's one thing I would say. Fergus and Armstrong is very underrated, but 100%. Even if you watch in Premier League, like a lot of the guys listening in that and other channels on, we all watch the Premier League. And if you're a neutral fan, that's it. I can't Milicevic, I can't pronounce his name, Fergus. But yeah, Armstrong has been very good. He's a good ball carrier, a very intelligent footballer, very intelligent person, and you can just tell he's got a really good football IQ. He's got a good striker as well. So I actually do think Armstrong, I think he could be important, especially if we were looking at players to come out and make a difference. Armstrong 100% in that category. Luke saying the thing about Southgate for me is how can England. Yeah, I'm not going to say I watch every England game notoriously in the qualifiers, mate, because let's be honest, you always qualify. It's never a problem, and you probably qualified in the past playing some amazing football. But at times, you've probably got a point. See, the funny thing when I look at England is the last tournament until now, your options have become unbelievable. And when it comes to young talent, you've got Foden, Sancho, Mount, unbelievable. Grealish, probably is not really young as well, but he came to form in the last couple of years. That he's maybe had to say, right, we need to play this style then to get the best out of the team, because you want defensively strong. And you thought you get the best. Like Kyle Walker is really good. He can be utilised for England. I understand that, and I do get that, mate. I do get that. It's maybe like you've these great acquisitions of players. You've always had good players, like obviously Kane's amazing as well, but the young players that came in, Foden and stuff, like your team looks unbelievable in attacking options now. I'm not even mentioning Rashford or Sterling. Sterling's not had a great season, but still you've got a lot of options there, and it's a bit like, yeah, that's maybe a fair point. It's like watching paint dry now. Maybe that's something England need to look in, but because he got to the semi-finals the last tournament, he was always going to get this tournament. That was never going to be in question. I think maybe following what happens here, seeing how Southgate, you probably find that he won't be the manager going forward either way. You maybe look to find someone who, equivalently, you've got a team who you've got a Champions League finalists, a lot of Champions League finalists in that team, and maybe going forward you need someone out with Southgate. So that's a fair point, mate, and I'm going to give him a chance. I obviously don't want England to do well, mate, but I'm not hating them in the sense, but I do feel like the squad they've got now has actually got a lot better, and you maybe need a better manager. However, we'll see. You had Capello, and I guess that the run of the games was not as bad, but there was drama in the camp with Capello. I don't know. I feel like, yes, you probably need a better manager, but time will tell. Fergus, imagine having watched Jack Charlton with that Irish team. Well, yeah, mate, I don't know, but good shout. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes with Scotland. But I appreciate you following us, Fergus. I appreciate that, mate. We'll need all the support we can get, and see if we can get the result against Czech Republic, guys. But as I say, thanks to everybody for the comments. That means a lot. Really means a lot to me. And yeah, I'll be cracking, get more videos out. But yeah, really appreciate any ideas for other videos. Give me a wee comment, any ideas, and it doesn't just have to be Euro related. We can do loads of different things. I've got a few ideas myself, kind of mix up, so it means not every video is Euro related because we're going to have a lot of that in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, no, thanks Fergus, and yeah, no, as I said, look, really good shout about having world class managers. I'm no in delusion that the way that draw came in the last World Cup helped. I just feel like he probably creates a less drama-free environment and does try to focus Southgate with his experience from being youth management. Yeah, and I'm not saying you probably need to go higher now, but he was always going to get this tournament because he's earned it. As much as you might not like him, you still got to a semi-final. You break it down, it doesn't look amazing how he got there. He still got there. He still got that in his record. He still took England to a semi-final. So there's a bit more respect than I think maybe people would assume, being a Scotland fan. Conroy, the big question, who's your favourite Scottish team? I'm a Liverpool fan, mate, in this channel. It's a Liverpool fan channel. Got knowledge in Scottish football, keep up with Scottish football. Obviously, was buzzing that Gerrard done really well and won his first league title. I know it's not the Premier League, but you know what? He's still done really well and he did a great job to stop. If you live in Scotland, you understand how big that is. For Celtic to win 10 in a row, that would never be topped. Because just the way football went, yes, with Rangers going down the league and stuff, but it just wouldn't have been topped. It'd be close to impossible for anybody to do that. So if you live in Scotland, you realise that Gerrard in Scotland he's a legend in Scotland. Like, he's soonest level now. I know it's only one league title, but that's such a big league title. And probably Celtic fans would agree with that, and a lot of Rangers fans obviously because they love Gerrard. But it was, if you watch a lot of Scottish podcasts and that, and all the build-up, shout out to Open Goal. If you've not checked it out, brilliant podcast. It really was a massive achievement. So we can talk about that more on our stream, and obviously the style of football Gerrard played as well. You've got Michael Beale from Liverpool, the coach from Liverpool, and you could tell there's similarities that we're all maybe looking at maybe Gerrard would be the manager one day for Liverpool, but you could tell the similarities in the way the style of play, especially with fullbacks. There's a few little indiscrepancies between both that we'll maybe talk later, maybe like about Ryan Kent and his movement compared to like a Salah or a Mo. But no, it was really interesting actually. But yeah, I'm very interested in Scottish football, but Liverpool fan now. It was obviously buzzing for Gerrard, and I understand how big achievement is here, so really buzzing for him. I know Fergus said, no, thanks, look, cheers, a great stream, mate. Thanks for chatting, appreciate it. And Fergus, Scottish sport is on the up, I think Rob as well. Well, do you know what? I do think there's been a lot of folk who've been saying different things about Scotland. See, Scottish football, it's quite fun to watch as well. They've got good acquisitions recently, and obviously because the competition between Celtic and Rangers is quite fierce again, that I think a lot of the games will be interesting. But the thing is, there's maybe a good point. Scottish football, you have got Rangers, Celtic, right, and then you've got maybe Aberdeen, Hibs, Hearts who just came back up again. But the problem is, it's like this season, the last couple of years, you've got a lot of teams who just go for it with each other, and it's maybe not tactically nullifying each other. So there's a lot of interesting games. I do think it's on the up. I do think in the sense of there's been previous spells in previous decades where it's been, look at the Gascoigne era with the European bands that made Gascoigne come and stuff like that. So there's been previous occasions where it's like there's been a lot of high caliber footballers. There's some very good footballers in Scotland now, But as I say, a lot of the games are very good. And there's good managers in Scottish football as well. I'll get more on it another time. There is good managers as well. So just shout out some more comments, guys. Stephen Somerville, how you doing, mate? Good to see finally can content Conroy. Hope that the Scots do well in the tournament from Irishman. Me too, mate. We'll get a wee stream closer to time on that as well. Look, Ramage, Scottish League is one of the most underrated leagues in Europe for me. It's one of the few leagues. Yeah, mate. The thing is, that's probably a good way to explain it, right? There is. It's not like a just Sunday league turn up. There is good tactics as well, but there's also a lot of good games as well. It's enjoyable. The Old Firm, everyone knows, talks about it, and it is. If you've been to Old Firm, it's crazy. The atmosphere is unbelievable. You're probably not getting anything like that. Yeah, Anfield's probably up there definitely, but it's a different atmosphere. Whereas like Anfield's amazing as well. But see, because of the level, I could probably relate it. See, me being a Liverpool fan, Liverpool United is like, to me, growing up, just from my personal experience, like I've got that rivalry towards United. But if you've been to Old Firm, like it's a special feeling. It's hard to explain the atmosphere. That's why people talk about it so much. But yeah, I do think it's improved a lot, and it's not. It gets looked down on too much. It's not the same as English Premier League. Let's just cut that because that is a different level. But if you look at the many players who came from Scotland recently and done well, even Edward looks like he's going to Leicester now. Stuart Armstrong spoke about, Andy Robertson, quite a few actually. You've got others. I've actually got loads as well. But James McCarthy played from Hamilton. There's several. We could do a breakdown list on that in another video. But yeah, what's your Twitter, mate? I'll get it. It's, if you want to follow me on Twitter, it says so it's _Conroy _Conroy H, just the letter H. So that's my Twitter. Look, another question, mate. Cheers, guys. You've been brilliant today. Do you think Old Firm's biggest game in the world? I feel like, you know, it's easy for teams to say, oh, that's the best. I would say, living in Scotland, you understand the level of Old Firm because it is a smaller country. Like, let's be honest, it's London's 5 million, Scotland's 5 million. So you've got lots of Rangers and lots of Celtic fans. And there's so much emphasis in that game when it happens, especially now when they're probably back on a level playing field, like competing with each other. That it's definitely up there, mate. You probably relate to Argentinian, Boca Juniors River Plate, that's massive as well. For me personally, Liverpool United is massive for me, and that's probably more a personal preference. But see, growing up, all I seen was Alex Ferguson, United winning, playing terrible against Liverpool, nicking the 1-0 wins. Liverpool couldn't do it. Liverpool always finishing second against United if that happened. Just never been good enough. So in my head, it's like, it's huge to me. When I see Liverpool fans saying we lost 3-2 in the cup to United, and fans are saying, oh, it was a good performance, I don't care. That's the one game I don't care about performance against United. It's about the result, and it's always been about the result. But yeah, do you know, it's definitely up there, look, it's definitely up there. Just looking at a few other comments now, sorry guys. Okay. Old Firm and Hearts, it seems intense. I would love to go experience. Well, yeah, mate, I've never been to Hibs Hearts game, been Old Firm game, been a few. Yeah, mate, it's up there. But then people could say I've never been to a Liverpool United game. So there's a lot of big Liverpool games. I've been to quite a few Liverpool games, but I've never been to those magnitude games. Very difficult to get those games. So yeah, I'd like to do the same, mate. But no, 100%. Hearts Hibs as well. Shout out, there's a lot of good Scottish players. See Hearts, if you watch a lot of interviews in Hearts, Tynecastle, it's right in. So basically, if you're a winner, the crowd's right there, like literally right there. So it's just on top of you. And a lot of people say that. Like Kevin Kyles, I used to play for Hearts, he said that's one of the top derbies. So yeah, mate, there's lots of good stuff in that. I'd like to go to Hearts Hibs as well, but that's really, really good point, mate. Shout out to Abbasel, how you doing, mate? Love you too, mate. Cheers, thanks for commenting, bud. But yeah, we kind of went in a bit of a different subjects there, but I love that, guys, and always, you know, put any comments you want. As I say, I look to finish up now. I was only about a 10-minute video, but it went 30 minutes, but I love it, guys. Thanks very much for listening in. Any ideas you've got for future videos, just shove in the comments, and I'll jump right on that and get stuff organised. But yeah, mate, guys, thanks very much for that, and as always, much appreciated. So I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Cheers.